I have to start with a YouTube intro, because yes, I have to do that. Apparently, that's very important. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my Regent tier list. Is that good enough? That's probably good enough. So I'm very opinionated on Regent at this point. Like, I feel very strongly, more strongly about Regent than I do about any other character, I think, right now. Like, I feel pretty comfortable with how I stand on basically every card in the character. On the other characters, there's a lot to learn still for me. But on Regent, I feel comfortable just saying that my opinions are pretty close to correct on the character. So I, at this point, finally feel okay making a tier list. Like, I felt kind of awkward about making a Regent tier list for a while because I've looked at the card, or I've just been playing the game and just feeling like I don't know enough. But finally, for one of the characters, I do feel strong. Like, I feel like a strong enough player to say that my opinions are at least pretty close to accurate about each of the cards. Like, I'm actually putting good information out there instead of just saying nonsense. Originally, I was just going to say nonsense and post them on YouTube, but yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really want to, so here we are. Took me a while to get here, but it's finally time to make a Regent tier list. Regent right now is probably my favorite character to play. It just feels the best to play. I think Regent is the second strongest character in the game right now, but even though I do like playing weak characters, I do like struggling in runs. I still just enjoy Regent a lot. The animations are fantastic. The card art is fantastic. The way the character feels is just wonderful. I just really like the character. Just having a ton of fun playing the character. So yeah, definitely feeling pretty good about my Regent right now. But anyway, let's get started. Alignment. We'll just go in alphabetical order, which I'm pretty sure is how this is organized. Is alphabetical. So alignment is A, and we'll end with Rotten War, which is W. Alignment got giga nerfed. This card used to be one of the best cards in the character. Like, it would just make you go infinite basically every run, but they made it cost 1 extra star, so now you can't do the things you used to do with it. Also, the glow nerf had a pretty big impact on alignment's power level. I would still say it's not terrible. It's definitely not in bad. There's not going to actually be very many cards in bad. Like, that's going to be a big difference between me and maybe other Regent card tier lists. Like, a lot of cards are going to be in desperate very specific, because I think that more accurately describes how the cards fit into the character. And we'll talk about how good the cards are. But alignment is going to either be desperate or only if needed. For this card, I don't feel the need to show the card in the game. If there's like a card that has more text on it, I'll show it in the game. But for alignment, I'll just do those. In the current state of Regent, you are pretty energy hungry. So there are a decent amount of situations where you have enough stars to play alignment, but not enough energy to play your cards where you want alignment. You kind of just need a lot of card draw to make it good. But I would say it's very rarely actually needed in my decks. So it's definitely at the bottom of only if needed. If it's in only if needed, it might be in desperate very specific. I'm gonna put it in only if needed for now, but I could see as I fill these tiers out, me feeling like alignment should go down 1 tier. But we'll start with it here. I think that's reasonable. All right, Arsenal. Arsenal, I think, got a buff. Let's take a look at that card, actually. Yeah, so let's go into the game and take a look at Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal now says whenever you create a card, gain 1 strength. This card is a lot better with this text on it than it used to be. I think used to be it was like whenever you create a colorless or play a colorless card, you gain 1 strength. Now it's just create any card. This includes the Sovereign Blade. This includes any colorless cards. This includes like Metamorphosis, like literally any way of creating cards. You'll gain strength when you play it. So yeah, a lot more utility with that card now. Significantly better than it was before. But where does it go? I think it would still probably go into desperate very specific. I don't think it's bad anymore. I think before it was in bad, but now it's probably desperate very specific. Like, it still doesn't fit into the main engine that you're doing with Regent, right? Like, it's not going to enhance the strong things that you actually want to do with the character. Like, the stuff that we're going to put in premium doesn't get enhanced by Arsenal. But the card definitely has its use cases, right? Like, if you need a large amount of damage scaling for a boss fight, then this can provide that for you if you have like just charge in your deck. Like, just with charge, you could probably make like 4 strength with this, and then maybe you're doing like some radiate bang and you just suddenly kill the enemy. So definitely belongs in this tier. No longer bad. It's just not in the main engine stuff that Regent actually wants to be doing. All right, Astral Pulse. This card probably doesn't need an introduction, but I'll do it anyway, just for the sake of doing it. I think most people should know what this card is, but here it is, Astral Pulse. Deal 14 to all enemies for 3 stars. This card is absolutely ridiculous. Like this card is so unbelievably strong. This card, especially if your Act 1 is Overgrowth, is probably the most important card to find early game on the character. And will just end up in basically all of your decks. It helps you so much in hallway fights. It helps you so much in some of the elite fights. Just does a ridiculous amount of damage for 3 stars. And however, it is a card I don't want to add to my deck. So it's not going to go in premium. Like if it's a card I basically always want in my deck, it'll go in premium. But for Astral Pulse, I do, if I can get away with not taking it, obviously I don't want to take a damage comment. Fundamentally, the card is still a damage comment. Like it doesn't block for you. It doesn't solve your problems in the long term, like in boss fights and stuff. It just helps you in the short term so much that you'll be able to build a good deck by not adding other bad cards. If you're in Overgrowth, take this on site. Like you actually need this card in your deck to beat Frog Parasite. Like Frog Parasite will just kill you if you don't have this card in your deck. So just take it in Overgrowth always. Underdogs, you can more so get away with skipping it. And definitely something to keep in mind. In Underdogs, like if you see something else against it, like especially something in premium, you can take it. But in Overgrowth, even things in premium, you will take Astral Pulse over because you need this thing to kill the Frog Parasite. Yeah, I don't think the card arts really have anything to do with like what the cards do in this game, to be honest. There's more so of that in Spire 1. I think this game has a little bit less of that. Like the B-Man being in this doesn't really make any sense, but it just looks cool. But yeah, Astral Pulse definitely one in most decks. Like most of my decks just end up with Astral Pulse in the deck. Like this card's incredible. Very, very strong card. Beat into Shape. I think I'll put in Desperate Very Specific. A little higher than Arsenal probably. It's not a bad card. I mean, it is a bad card. It's just a damage. Like it just does damage and it forges. Like it doesn't actually do anything. It's like a Rotten War plus kind of thing. If you have like a lot of multi-hits in your deck, then you can maybe make a big forge out of this. It can contribute to a forge engine that makes a big sword, which is something you do want to do on this character. Like making a big sword is something I do basically every single Regent run. So a lot of people talk about how forge isn't good, but like forge is good and you do want to forge in most Regent runs. And Beat into Shape can be the way you do that. It's just not a very efficient way to do that compared to other ways you can make a big sword. Cards we'll get to later that are very strong that make big swords are just much better than this. It doesn't play into any specific engine. It just kind of fits into a deck to deal a lot of damage if you need that. This card was better when the door was more difficult to deal with, like when it would eat your cards, because this card could provide you with a damage engine that maybe would kill the door in time if the door ate some more important card. But yeah, as it is now, it's probably just a desperate card. Like you're never just clicking this because you like want it in your deck, right? I can show it on the game as well in case people don't know what it is. Beat into Shape is just a card that says Forge 5 or deal 5 damage, Forge 5. Forges an additional 5 for every other time you've hit the enemy for this turn. So like if you hit him twice with other cards, then this will forge 15, which is like okay. Like it's just okay. It's only if you actually need this type of scaling, like against the Sandworm in Act 2 or something, then maybe you take this card, but typically best avoided, right? The cards in this tier are just gonna be cards that are better to avoid than to take. Like you prefer to not have this in your deck. And any card that I prefer to not have in my deck, it's not going to be anything above Desperate Very Specific, which is going to probably be most of the cards, to be honest. All right, Begone. Begone. So pre-patch Begone, I thought was one of the strongest damage commons on the character. Post-patch Begone, which I'll show here in the game real quick. Post-patch Begone, I think, is even better. Like I think this card was already good pre-patch and then they buffed it. For some reason. Choose a card in your hand, transform it into Minion Strike, which does 6 damage, draw a card. Some people might be playing on the not beta patch. They might not know that that's what this card does now, but that is what this card does on the beta patch. So that's how I will be rating it. Yeah, this card is incredible. This card's definitely one in most decks. There's like very rarely a situation or a deck in Act 1 or just really at any point in the run where a Begone won't just get in my deck at some point. Like it's just gonna get in my deck. The card is just good. It's basically, as it is now, this is a damage version of True Grit that has like it's a True Grit plus, but it does damage, but it has Dark Embrace stapled to it. Like you get the card draw from Dark Embrace automatically. Which if you've ever played Ironclad and you're exhausting down with True Grit plus with Dark Embrace, you know that that's kind of strong. And especially with how Regent wants to play, which is often exhausting down to a like specific set of very powerful cards and then playing those over and over again. That's like the usual way to scale in late game with Regent. And Begone just contributes to that engine pretty substantially. So the card is just very good. Very strong card. Definitely one in most of my decks. It's not premium. It's not like the best stuff on the character, but it is good. Now, what is premium is Big Bang. This is a card I won't be showing on the thing because I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this card does. Gain a star, gain an energy, draw 1 card, forge 5. What a ridiculous card! Like it's just the best cantrip you could ever imagine. Like you want to put it as many copies as possible in every deck that you play on Regent, and it's not like a small effect. It's kind of like getting an extra turn almost. You can clone Big Bang, which is ridiculously strong. You can just have 2 Big Bangs in your deck, and your deck will just be infinitely more consistent, and like the stars will feel better, the energy will feel better. Everything just gets streamlined out. Like Regent's cards are very strong, so Big Bang like smoothing out all of your problems. It's just a huge deal. Like this card is not low impact. It might look like it's low impact because it doesn't draw more than 1 card, but it is a very high impact card. Every time it's in my deck, I just feel a huge amount of impact from this thing. Incredibly powerful. Not the best card in Regent, I don't think. I think the best card is also a rare, and I'll get to it later, or get to it pretty soon. But it is one of the best cards in the character for sure. Incredibly strong. Like very high impact, lots of power. I mean, it's obvious. Everyone knows this card is strong. Like there's not I doubt there's anyone who thinks this card's bad or belongs anywhere outside of premium. Absolutely insane. It's a card that's built to be insane. All right, Black Hole. I think I'll put this in only if needed. I think that's where that belongs. And we'll talk about it over here. This card says, whenever you spend or gain stars, deal 3 damage to all enemies. That is what this card says. And it's kind of just like, it's good when you have a lot of star gen and star use, but if you have that, you probably have an Astral Pulse in your deck, so you don't really need it. But if you don't have an Astral Pulse yet, or this fits in your deck better, then it can accomplish that AoE goal on a similar level to Astral Pulse sometimes. Sometimes it could just be the random damage you need. This card is specifically quite useful for solving Phantom in Act 1. Like if you have some Phantom problem, Black Hole will just chip down the intangible stacks on Phantom. So definitely look out for this card in a Phantom Act. Other than that, I don't really want an Act 1. Like I'm not like looking to add this card early on. It's just a card that might get in my deck if it solves some like problem in Act 2. Like if I need some AoE damage or if I need some consistent damage output over turns to meet some kind of threshold, then I might take a Black Hole. But it's not a card I want in my deck really, unless it's solving a problem. Like the cards in Desperate, very specific. They're cards that I don't want in my deck just kind of generally, and they don't really solve problems very often. But the cards in Only If Needed are just cards I don't want in my deck, but they solve problems pretty often. And this card does solve problems pretty often, so definitely belongs in that tier. I think Bombardment probably also belongs in that tier. Bombardment is kind of a mediocre card. Every time I have it in my deck, I'm a little bit disappointed with it, but it has a lot of powerful combos, like Bombardment with the helmet, the Intimidating Helmet. Every single time you play Bombardment from the exhaust pile, this thing will block, the Intimidating Helmet will block 4 for you. Intimidating Helmet is a rare relic that blocks 4 every time you spend 2 or more energy on a card, which counts for Bombardment every time you play it from the exhaust pile, so that's 4 block per turn. That's pretty strong. It's like almost a Psy, which is pretty strong. Bombardment plus Music Box is incredibly powerful. A lot of people know about that combo. It's if you play Bombardment from the exhaust pile with Music Box, then you'll create another Bombardment that will exhaust because it's ethereal, which will play another Bombardment next turn. And then that just kind of scales up your damage forever. Very powerful. But it's mostly these combos that make the card strong, not really the card itself. Like the card by itself is just kind of whatever. And I only take it if I am in desperate need of boss damage. And without those combos, I think it would be in Desperate very specific. But because of the combos that it has potentially with boss relics and relics, I think putting it in only if needed is reasonable. All right, Bulwark. Now this card is definitely as strong as it is because of the current state of the game. Like, I'm very aware of the numbers on this card not actually being that strong. Like, I mean, it's good. It's just not like premium broken, as good as the other premium cards on Regent. But the thing is, as the game is right now, if I get a Bulwark in Act 1, or if I get a Bulwark in Act 2, I sort of just steamroll the whole game. Like, I don't need to add other cards. If I just play Bulwark every turn, basically everything in the entire game falls over and dies to it. It really is just that good. It really is just that efficient at solving the problems that the current state of the game is presenting to me. Like, Bulwark just smooths everything out. It's exactly what I want in my deck. It's probably the card I want to see the most, besides maybe Reflect, on floor 1. Like, if I could pick a card to see on floor 1, I would pick Bulwark or Reflect. Probably Reflect, but it's like one of the two. Like, those are the absolute premium block options that I want to see as early as possible. And yeah, every time I get a Bulwark early, it just feels incredible. It definitely doesn't have the best numbers written on it, but just what it does to the game, what it does to boss fights, what it does to elites, it just smooths over all problems. It really is that good. Definitely click this. Click multiple copies of it, even upgrade it. Like, just go aggressively play into Bulwark being a huge part of your deck, and you will win more runs on Regent. Is having Bulwark and Reflect together good or bad? Very good. I want both cards in my deck, absolutely. Like, oftentimes, like, a definitive, like, I win moment in Regent runs for me is when I have both Bulwark and Reflect in my deck. Once I have those two cards, I'm just like, okay, I guess I win. Like, I just feel super comfy from there on out. The card is incredible, but there are better cards on the character, but I still think I'd put it in premium. It's just that good. If I'm not going to show what this card does, it's just block and forge. It's a very simple card. Bundle of Joy I will show. Bundle of Joy I think I'm going to put in Desperate Very Specific. I think pre-patch this card was just bad, but I think now it can actually be picked in a very specific situation. Yeah, sure. I can zoom in a little bit. Hold on. But I'm showing the cards in the game anyway, so it's not that important. Here is Bundle of Joy. So pre-patch, this card was like 2 energy, and you would make 3 random colorless. They reduced the energy cost by 1. That's all they did. And now this card is like, it kind of fits into some decks. Like, if you are blocking primarily with the Pillars of Creation, which is something you can do. If you have like other colorless energies like Arsenal and stuff in your deck, this card is actually kind of okay. It's not good, and like, you have to be in a very specific kind of deck to want it, or like in a very desperate situation. So this card is really the definition of Desperate Very Specific. Like, you have to be in a very specific kind of situation to want it. I think pre-patch you would basically never wanted this, and I would definitely put it in bad, but 1 energy is a huge buff to this card. And I think as it is now, it does get in your deck sometimes. I do not think that card is bad. Celestial Might, I think I'll put in only if needed. This card also got buffed. There's just so many cards that got buffed on this character. I think before this card was probably in Desperate Very Specific, but now I think I would put it higher. It's another kind of clean Phantom solution. It's a multi-hit, and the card also just does good damage. There's plenty of ways to gain strength on this character. There's like lots of potions that help. The card just is 3 strikes stapled together for 2 energy. Like, that's what the card is. And if it lines up with your Falling Star in Act 1, it just kind of kills things. Like, it's a very efficient damage card, very much worth upgrading. There's a lot of synergies with it. You can put momentum on this thing. You can put like vigor on this thing. Lots of enchantments that help it. It's very strong. It's just a good damage common. Like, it's what a damage common should be if you want it to be strong. Like, it's not as broken as Astral Pulse, but it's just kind of good. Like, it's a solid damage common. And yeah, it'll end up in my deck if I see it on like floor 1, floor 2 of the Act 1s for sure. Like, if I see it in those early floors, I'll just add it to deal extra damage. Not unhappy to add it. I can show it in the game, I suppose. Just to show what it does real quick for anyone who doesn't know. It's just a 2 energy, deal 6 damage 3 times, upgrades to deal 6 damage 4 times, which is the buff that they gave it. It's a pretty big buff, to be honest. Helps the card a lot. All right, next up is Charge. I think I'll put Charge in Wanted most decks. I don't think I'll put this thing in Premium, but I think I'll put it in Wanted most decks. So Charge at this point is different than what it was before the patch. Again, I'll show it in the game in case people don't know what they did to it in the patch. Before, this thing would make the minion strikes. Now it makes minion dive bombs. So it does the same thing where it exhausts cards in your deck, but it doesn't like draw cards through your deck. So it's not like completely free to play. But now it just does so much damage. Like this card unupgraded does 26 damage for 1 energy because this like these cards cost 0. And you're transforming strikes, which you don't want to play anyway. Or transforming even curses or something, which you don't want to play anyway. Obviously you can't play. And suddenly you're dealing 26 or upgraded 32 damage for 1 energy. That's a bludgeon. Like this is a bludgeon. This card is a bludgeon that exhausts your deck. Like it's a bludgeon with utility, which is just crazy. Like this card is ridiculous. It's not going to go in Premium because the card is still a bit too specific, I think, right now. Like there are lots of decks where you won't want it. If you already have your engine figured out, then you don't want it. It doesn't just solve all your problems. Like it's probably like, if it's in Premium, it's at the bottom of Premium. I could see it going up to Premium. I'll put it in top of Wanted most decks right now. It'll just be it'll be the guardian of Wanted most decks. I don't think it's going to go below anything else. I think it'll be at the top of this tier. It's very strong. It just does a ridiculous amount of damage. They definitely need to tone down the numbers of this card a little bit. They definitely need to tone down the numbers. It does too much damage for 1 energy. Like it's a bludgeon upgraded for 1 energy, which is just, it's just ridiculous, especially on this character, especially with added utility of exhausting cards from your deck. It's just stupid. Very strong, obviously. It's just the cards it's competing up with in Premium just kind of win me the run. So like the cards up here are just going to be I win the run cards. So I don't think this card quite is as good as I win the run as it stands right now. Now a card that is that good is Child of the Stars. This is this character's mental fortress. I can show it in the game real quick. Someone in chat said I can sort the cards by alphabetical. How do I do that? Like this? Okay. Yeah, we can go to Child of the Stars. So Child of the Stars is this character's mental fortress. That's what the character. That's what the card does. If you played Watcher and Slay the Spire 1, then you'll know what I mean by that. If you have it in your deck, it's so easy to solve block that it's almost comical. Like it is so funny how easy it is to solve block once you have this card in your deck. There's so many problems that are just smoothed out as soon as you have it. I wouldn't say it's a like super strong early game pick in the sense that it won't win you the run as soon as you click it, like Bulwark does. I'm going to put it below Bulwark because I just don't actually think it's as strong as Bulwark in the current state of the game. Once Act 4 is added, this card will be stronger than Bulwark. I can say that with pretty high confidence. But in the current state of the game, Bulwark is just too good at solving all of your problems, while Child of the Stars just solves most of your problems. I'll still put it in Premium, but it's not as good as something that solves all your problems like Bulwark, I think, right now. All right, Cloak of Stars, kind of a simple card. Just like a 0 energy 1-star block 7. It's pretty solid. But I'd still put it in only if needed. Definitely not desperate, very specific. It'll get in your deck if you see it early and you need more block. Like oftentimes Regent is pretty happy to add a block card in early Act 1. And even later on, if you need like just some extra block and you see this thing upgraded, it can just get in your deck. It's not a complicated card. It's just kind of solid. Yeah, decent, I guess. I'll put it there. Nothing special about it, obviously. Collision Course, I think I'll put it in desperate, very specific. It's an interesting one because the numbers on it are very strong. Like it's 1 energy, but it's flexible. I'll show it in the game real quick. Like this one's worth showing probably because they did change this one in the patch. It's 1 energy if you play the debris, but you don't have to play the debris. And if you don't play it, it's 0 energy, deal 11, which is a very efficient attack. Like we were all like obsessed over Blade Dance and Slay the Spire 1 for dealing 12 damage for 1 energy, which is kind of wild that this thing's dealing 11 damage for 0 energy. But like oftentimes it just shows up a little bit too late, and as soon as your deck is finished, which on Regent often it's like floor 5 that your deck is kind of finished, you don't need this thing anymore. Like once your problems are solved, you don't need it. So it definitely belongs in desperate, very specific. Like you have to be in this exact situation where you need extra damage right now. And this isn't even the best way to do that. Like Celestial Might is way better than this for dealing that kind of damage in early game. I found, anyway, so far for me, I found that Celestial Might is just better. It has better potential scaling in the future. It's just a better card. If you're looking for a damage comet to solve your problems, then I would prefer this over this. So I'll put it in Desperate very specific. I think in terms of damage commons, it definitely belongs there. All right, Comet. Holy Comet. This card is the best card in the character, I think, right now. Like I think Comet is probably the strongest card in the character as it stands. This card is just stupid. Like this card is just like maybe the strongest card in the entire game. Maybe I'm not sure. It might be the strongest card in the entire game. For those unfamiliar, which I doubt there's really anyone unfamiliar, but it's better to talk about the card here. This card does 33, upgrades to 44, which is an 11 damage upgrade. Apply 3 weak, apply 3 vulnerable. It's like a super uppercut shockwave bludgeon for 0 energy. Like it is the most overstated thing. Like I don't know how hard they think getting 5 stars is, but apparently they think it's quite hard because like this thing just one-shots everything. It also is incredible in boss fights. Like this thing is incredible in hallways, incredible in elites, and incredible in boss fights. It's incredible in all aspects of the run. As soon as it's in my deck, I just win. Like there is not a single run I've ever struggled as soon as this card has entered my deck. It is just so unbelievably broken. It might be the strongest card in the entire game. I could actually see it. Every time it's in my deck, it's just like, it blows my mind. Like it just kills everything. Like everything just dies and is also permanently weakened and vulnerable. Like I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, what is there to say about it? It's just insane. Yeah, it is that good. It is that good. All right, moving on. Conquer. This thing, I think, is Forge 3. Let's go back to it. Yeah, Forge 3. Sovereign Blade deals double damage to the enemy this turn. Is this going to be the first bad card? I think this is the first bad card, right? This card's just kind of worthless. I've tried taking it a couple times, and it doesn't even do like the thing that I want it to do. Like it's never actually, like I take it to solve a problem and it doesn't even solve the problem for me. I think pre-nerf door, this card could get in your deck sometimes for just like, I need to kill the door really fast and this thing helps me do that. But yeah, post-nerf door, it just like doesn't really do anything. Like it's just not, the numbers are just small. The numbers on the cards is just like too small. Like it doesn't do enough damage. It doesn't forge enough. I'm okay with it being this bad, but yeah, it's just a bad card. It doesn't do enough stuff. Now a card in the opposite end of the spectrum is Convergence. I think I'll put this above Bulwark. Yeah. Convergence, I think, as it stands right now, is the strongest star gen card in the game. I think right now it's the strongest star gen card in the game. With the way Regent wants to play your fights, retaining your hand is incredibly powerful. Like if you've ever had Equilibrium on Regent, you just know how strong that is. So the bottom text of this is incredible. The middle text of this is incredible. It costs 1 energy, which isn't even that much. Like it's just broken. Like it's just straight up broken. It's a card you want to upgrade. Like if you're generating stars in any way, this is the best way to do it. It's obviously not a lot of stars, but like you want to play this card every single turn. If you could play this card in every single turn, you just win. Like it is just that good. It lines up your turns perfectly. It gives you all the stars you need. It gives you extra energy, so it doesn't even cost any energy. It's just good. Absolutely amazing card. One of the key engine cards on this character. I will take multiple copies of it. It's just that good. Incredibly powerful. All right, Cosmic Indifference. I could honestly see this card being... Yeah, I'll put it in only if needed. Cosmic Indifference is just a card that as soon as you have your engine figured out... Here, I'll show this card in the game as well. As soon as you have your engine figured out, you never really need this type of headbutt effect because you just shuffle so fast because your deck is so small. On most of my Regent decks, my decks are like 15 to 17 cards, so I don't need a card like this to help me find other cards. Or to help me find cards I've already played, because I'll just reshuffle and draw back into those cards. And that's just a much more efficient way of doing what this thing does. And 6 block is just not enough to justify putting it in my deck. If this card comes up graded, it can be okay. Like even in a good deck, it can be like kind of fine because it doesn't get in your way that much. It helps you in some situations. But with the door gone, this card's card manipulation just isn't even that good. It's basically only slotting in if your deck is bad and you like need its effect to accomplish some kind of goal, and that just doesn't happen very often for me. So I'll put it in bottom of only if needed. It's barely not desperate. It's almost desperate. It is kind of that bad. Not a card I want in my deck. Regent decks are just too efficient for this type of effect. Like the effect is okay, but current Regent decks are just kind of piles of good cards, and Cosmic Indifference is not a good card. So like the 6 block aspect of it just isn't strong. So I don't want it in my deck. Basically ever. All right, Crash Landing, I think I'll also put in Desperate Very Specific. It's a card that does a lot of damage, has a lot of potential power, but you need to see it in a very specific kind of situation, basically like early Act 1, where that extra damage matters. Like before your deck is basically finished, which oftentimes in Regent doesn't take very long. So yeah, it's just all right. Like I've never actually had this card in my deck. I've seen it be played with though, because that situation for me has never came up. That's how rare this is. Like you just have to see it in a very specific part of the game, so the odds that it actually ends up in your deck is just very low. That's kind of how I see it right now. This card is very strong on the defect. If you see this card on the defect, try it out. With Compact, that's pretty funny. Compact plus Crash Landing is one of the funny Prism combos you can get in this game. Definitely look out for that, but on the Regent, it like just has to show up in a very specific part of the run. Otherwise, it's just not going to get in your deck, right? Crescent Spear, I think, is similar. I don't think I could say this card is bad. Maybe I could say it's bad. I don't know if, since my first Regent run, I've actually added a Crescent Spear to my deck or seen any good Regent player add a Crescent Spear to their deck. Yeah, the card is just kind of bad. I can show it in the game, I guess. This is Crescent Spear. 6 damage plus 2 additional damage for All-Star. Like, this card by default is 10 damage for 1 energy, which is pretty inefficient. And also 1 star. Like, the fact that you have to spend 1 star on it, on top of that, it's just kind of an inefficient card. Like, it'll often end up being like 18 damage for 1 energy, which is just, by the time that ends up being true, it's just not enough to actually justify putting in your deck, because your deck has star. Like, if you have the ability to spend stars on stuff, usually you just win, because the cards that spend stars are just broken in this game. Like, most of them are just really powerful. And yeah, Crescent Spear is just not going to slot into a deck that's already strong, right? It's going to slot into a deck that has weaknesses, and if you have star cards in your deck, you probably don't have weaknesses, so you don't really need this. Yeah, it's just a card you don't want in your deck. If you get it for free for like -1 strike from a transform, it's fine. Like, it's going to perform fine. But it's just not a card you're ever going to click on, right? Like, the situation just doesn't come up where you actually want to click on this card. Like, these cards you just don't have a situation for, basically. I think Crush Under... Honestly, I barely know what this card does. So let's show it on here. Yeah. Deal 7 damage to all enemies. All enemies lose 1 strength. It doesn't upgrade to 2... Or it does upgrade to 2 strength. Which makes it like okay, but the damage only goes up by 1. It's like a bad piercing well, kind of. The problem with Crash Under isn't like that the effect is weak. It's one of those cards where the effect is okay, but the way Regent functions as a character, where like you have to streamline your deck so much, like adding this extra damage common that has utility, just it makes no sense, basically. Like, there's just never a situation where you need this unless you're extremely desperate for the effect, which can happen, and that's why it's going to go in Desperate Very Specific. But it is desperate and very specific. Like, it's just not going to be a card you ever really add to your deck because it's strong. Like, the power level of the card is never going to be the reason you're adding it. So it definitely belongs in this tier. That just makes sense. Decisions, I could see going in 1 to most decks. Yeah, I think I'll put it in bottom of one to most decks. It's barely there. It's pretty close to being only if needed, I think. But the card is just kind of powerful on its own. And usually I have enough stars to be able to play it. And if I can play it, it sort of just wins the fight for me. Like, triple playing Bulwark, triple playing like Begone, triple playing Reflect, I don't know, something like that. Yeah, the card is just kind of okay. But it's really bad early, like early game. And the fact that it's so bad early game and bad in bad decks kind of makes me want to put it on only if needed. Because like only if your deck is already kind of cooking, then you can add this card. Like, if you have the stars to actually play it. Otherwise, you just don't add this card. Yeah, there is the imbue aspect of it. So if you have just some stars, you can take this card just to like play for the shrimp in Act 2 in early game. Yeah, that probably pushes it up here because imbue decisions is quite broken. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I would say it's worse than these cards though, but it is good. All right, I'll put defend down here. I guess I could show decisions in the game. I'll just show it in the game real quick and then I'll go back to the tier list. Just draw 3 cards, choose a skill in your hand, play it 3 times. It's all right. All right, Devastate. This card, the text on it looks quite strong. Like, it's just 1 energy, 4 stars, deal 30 damage, upgrade to 40 damage. That looks okay. But in actuality, this card is terrible. It's the definition of a desperate click. It's probably one of the better desperate clicks, but it is an absolute desperation click. Like, if you have the stars to actually play this, it's just so easy to have other better options in your deck. And if you have those better options, you never want this card. It's only if you don't have those options yet and you already have the star gem, which is just a very rare situation to be in, because why do you have the star gem if you don't have the payoff, is usually the question. So yeah, Devastate just pretty bad. Pretty bad card. I have clicked it when I'm desperate and it did perform for me when I was desperate. It's just only in that kind of situation, which definitely belongs in desperate very specific, that defines this card. It's the definition of desperate very specific. All right, Dying Star, I think I'll put above Black Hole. And maybe I'll put it if, or top of only if needed. Somewhere around here. Dying Star is a card that doesn't actually enhance your deck if you don't already have stars, because like you just can't play it and then it exhausts with Ethereal and you just have a curse in your deck. Like, it's a clumsy basically if you can't play it. If you can play this card consistently though, it's a pretty strong block card. Like, it'll block hallway fights for you, it'll block bosses for you. You just reshuffles into your deck. You just play it like every couple turns with the star gen. It's one of the cards that can fulfill like what Comet does, what Bulwark does, if you have the stars for it. So it is good in that kind of situation. But if you don't have that engine put together already, the card is just bad, like just kind of hard to click on. And once you have that engine put together, it's so easy to fit a different rare into your deck. And this is a rare card. If this was an uncommon card, it would probably be like up here. But it being a rare card just like means that it doesn't show up in the right kind of situations for it to be clicked on consistently. I'll show it in the game, I suppose. Dying Star. It's ethereal, which is the main downside of it. And yeah, 9 strength is huge, obviously. This thing just full blocks so many things in the game. I've had this thing pop off for me harder than almost any other card. When it's good, it's very, very good. But it has to be in the right kind of situation. It's not as strong as a lot of the other 1 energy 3-star effects that are in the game. All right, Foregone Conclusion, I think I'll also put in Desperate Very Specific. The effect of this card is good, like the Seek effect. When I play it, it feels nice to play, but most of my Regent decks are just very small, streamlined packages of very strong cards. And when that is the case, I never want to play this, right? Like, I just rather have no card in my deck and then draw those other cards. This is why I'm always saying that cards are evil on Regent and you don't want to add them. Like, they actively harm you most of the time, is because they just get in the way of the actual strong cards, which are these cards. And these cards are winning you the run, so you don't need Forgotten Conclusion to like search out these cards, because these are your whole deck. You've removed every other card, you've begoned every other card. You just don't need this to do anything for you. But if your deck is bad and you've been forced to add other cards and stuff, then this card can help your engine for sure. If you're playing like a Parasol run, this card's pretty strong. If you're playing like an actual real Regent deck, this card is pretty good. Like, it's not a bad effect if your deck is real. But if your deck is what I'm building in almost every Regent run, then this card is going to be very rare for you to ever click. Probably same thing for Furnace. Furnace is... I'll put Furnace higher in the Desperate Very Specific. It's not a bad card. Like, it is boss scaling, which is something you do have to solve on Regent, and it's something you want to solve pretty early on Regent. There's much better ways to solve it than Furnace, though. It's just like, if you're dying to the Act 1 boss, then... Or to the Act 2 boss or something, you might take this card and upgrade it to help you win that fight, like push you over some kind of threshold. And yeah, that threshold is common enough that I would say this card is pretty solid. All of the cards in this tier are fine. Like, none of these cards are unpickable. Like, all of these are pickable. Don't get the idea that these cards are unpickable. These cards are the only ones I would say are borderline unpickable, but like, these cards are all pickable. And Furnace is definitely pickable. It's just, again, a very specific kind of situation where you want it. This card is just every turn you forge a certain amount. Like it's a very simple card. All right, Gamma Blast. Gamma Blast. This card, initially when I was playing Regent, I thought it was like this high. Now I'll probably put it in only if needed. Probably around Dying Star. It's kind of a similar card to Dying Star, really, like in what it does. Like I would say it's a similar card in effect. I'll show it on here. Just deal 13, apply 2 weak, apply 2 vuln. It's like a little Comet, basically, like a mini Comet. And if Comet is as good as I'm saying it is, you'd think this card would be better, but it's just this card doesn't actually outperform your base card Falling Star as much as Gamma, or as much as Comet outperforms your base card. Like Comet is just so much better, while Gamma Blast is like an upgrade, but it's not like such a ridiculous upgrade. Definitely a card I'm okay with adding as soon as I have stars in early game, but yeah, I would say it's better than Dying Star because it's uncommon, but like the effect isn't as strong as what Dying Star does. So I'll put it in only if needed. I think these cards up here are better. And the more I look at this, the more I think decisions should probably just go here. It's kind of in a similar vein to these cards where like it just can only end up in your deck if you have a kind of somewhat specific circumstance, while these cards are way more generic. All right. Gather Light. Definitely only if needed, right? For sure. Just gain 8 block, gain a star. With the buff, it's gain 8 block to 9 block. Definitely belongs in only if needed. I would say it's a bit better than Cloak of Stars, probably. It's just a solid block common, and block commons are pretty good to click early. If you see this thing on floor 1 over skip, obviously you just take it. It just makes your deck better. It makes the stars better. It smooths out your run. It's just a card you should take. Very valuable to fit into an engine, and that means it's good. It's just a good card. It's nothing special, but it's good. Genesis. I find myself clicking Genesis a lot of the time that I see it. I think I'll put it above Bombardment, maybe like around Black Hole. Genesis is kind of like fake Void Form in a way. Like, if you have the ability to put this thing into play, then and you have the star payoff in your deck, this thing smooths out your deck, right? Like if you don't have the good star gen and then you have like good star payoff in your deck, you like taking the payoff preemptively and you just see this thing randomly, then you'll take it and you'll add it to your deck, right? The fact that it's a rare makes that a little bit harder of a situation to come by, but it does help you in a situation that comes up often enough that I don't think it can go in Desperate very specific. Like this card just does end up in your deck. If you have like Particle Wall, this thing just gives you an extra Particle Wall every turn. Obviously, if you have Comet, you want to build up to playing Comet often. If you can play your star cards, like the star cards on this character and in this game are so broken that if you can play them consistently, you just win the run. Like you just straight up win the run. And Genesis just kind of lets you do that. So it does kind of just win you the game as soon as it's in your deck and in play. But yeah, Regent's just a bit too strong, so it doesn't solve your problems often enough being a rare card. All right, Glimmer. And Glimmer will also go in only if needed. I'll put it like here, I think. Glimmer's a card that I've seen some people say is like very strong, but my opinion of it is more mixed. Like Regent does end up kind of energy starved pretty often. It can help you with like the Kingly Kick, Kingly Punch kind of damage package, but I don't care that much about that. It's just like okay card draw, like kind of mediocre. It's like a thinking ahead plus kind of thing, but it costs an energy. It's just a little bit weird. Like it's okay if you need it, then you need it, but I don't know. There's nothing really special to say about it. I'll put it down here. I think I don't really feel that strongly about this card anymore. Like there was a certain point in time where I felt like this card was pretty good, but at this point I'm not too high on it. All right, Glitterstream, definitely Desperate, very specific. I could see it being only if needed, honestly. I'll put it bottom of only if needed. I'll put it above Cosmic Indifference, actually. This card got buffed for some reason. It was already an okay common, and then it got buffed, and now it's just like a pretty solid common. If you need block early, like you see this card on like floor 1, 2, 3, and you want to solve block on Regent as fast as possible, then you just add this card to your deck, and your block just kind of smooths out for the whole run. Like, you block the elites a lot better, you block the hallways a lot better, your boss fights can go a lot longer. If you're fighting like the deer boss, then this thing can help a lot in that fight. It's just an efficient enough card. Like, the numbers on it are just good enough to help you enough in the early portion of the run. And then in the late portion, maybe you play decisions on this card and it kind of pops off. Definitely a card I'm pretty happy to add to my deck. All right, Glow. The nerfed Glow. So if anybody doesn't know the nerfed Glow, I guess I haven't been showing cards often enough, but I feel like most people know what like these cards do. I've been describing what they do. Like, Litter Stream is gain 11 block next turn, gain 5 block. It buffs to gain 7 block and 13 block. Just solid. But yeah, this is nerfed Glow, which is draw 1 card next turn, draw 1 card, gain 1 to 2 stars upgraded. I still personally think this is one of the strongest star engine cards in the game. I'm like mostly just happy with it being in my deck, so I'm definitely still going to put it up here. Next to Astral Pulse. Was it really nerfed? Yes, it was. It was absolutely nerfed. Like, before, this card was just going infinite every round. But now it's just like a card I take and upgrade, and I'm just happy to have it in my deck as a 1-of. Sometimes as a 2-of, but usually it's just like a 1-of upgraded Glow is in my every single Regent deck I make. And if that's the case, then it definitely goes in 1 most decks, because almost every Regent deck I play, I just have an upgraded Glow in my deck. And it performs pretty well. Pre-patch, I would say Astral Pulse and Glow are both premium cards. I think post-patch, they're 1 in most decks. Like, they're not as insane as these cards anymore. Like, Astral Pulse didn't actually get nerfed, but it got nerfed a bit by how Glow was changed. Because Glow Astral Pulse doesn't just, like, kill the whole game anymore. It's still strong, but it doesn't just kill the whole game anymore. Guards. I think I'll put Guards in 1 to most decks. Guards is a card I wish was balanced. Like, this card would be kind of cool if it was balanced, but it's just not balanced. Like, it exhausts way too many cards, and it immediately brings you to the state of being that you want to be in on the Regent, where like your deck is in a very efficient set of very strong cards. Like, you can just exhaust down to Bulwark, Reflect as soon as you play this thing. Or some like kind of efficient star engine type of situation can just be created as soon as you play this thing. And yeah, that's kind of good. That's kind of good. If you just get that out of this 1 card while also full blocking on the turn. It's just block Fiend Fire. Like, that's what it is. It's block Fiend Fire, and block Fiend Fire is just broken. The card is broken. I wouldn't say it's one of the premium cards. It doesn't create the engine that wins you the run by itself. Like, it has to be combined with the engine cards to be really strong, but if you have the engine cards, this card is insane. If you have any amount of card draw, this card is insane. Like, it's just broken. Pretty uncomplicatedly broken. All right, changed Guiding Star. I think it probably goes in 1 to most decks. Probably above Be Gone. Can show the changed Guiding Star. Honestly, I was feeling pretty good about Guiding Star before the buff. And it's arguable if this is even a buff, but it's felt like a buff to me. Like, I was wondering if it was a true buff, but it definitely is a true buff. This card just draws cards on the turn you play it now, instead of you having to wait till the next turn to get the draw. And yeah, that's crazy. Like, that's a ridiculous buff. Completely unnecessary. It makes the character less interesting, because now card draw is just less of a problem. I found this thing to be really efficient as soon as you have any energy in your deck, basically. It's just a very efficient, good card. As soon as you have any energy in your deck, it enhances your engine by a decent amount. It's just strong. Card draw is strong. Guiding Star is strong. Yeah, nothing to really say about that. There's more to say about the previous Guiding Star. It was a more interesting card before. Now it's like less interesting. I think I'm going to move Genesis up a little bit for no reason. All right, Hammer Time is the multiplayer card, so I'm going to put it down here. Heavenly Drill, I'm going to put in Desperate, I think. I'll put it like next to Bundle of Joy. I have never had success with Heavenly Drill. I hear some good things about it from some people, but I've just never looked at it and been like, yeah, that's a card I want in my Regent deck. Like, it's just not a card I want in my Regent deck. I want my Regent decks to be efficient, like Star, Jin to Star payoff, with like the broken Star payoff cards that we're going to get to at some point. And yeah, Heavenly Drill just never really provides that. It just doesn't fit into any type of damage engine I actually want to be doing. So it's only going to get in if I absolutely need this card in my deck right now. Like, I just need to be able to do this effect, which is going to be rare for a rare card. Like, a rare card just isn't going to create that situation for you as often as you might think it would. Especially since I'm not really clicking rare card from Whale on Regent. All right, Hegemony. I could show what the card does, I suppose. Just out of practice. Heavenly Drill. 8 damage X times, double X if it's form. This card can do a bajillion damage, but that's just not what Regent cares about. Like, it's a powerful card, but Regent just doesn't care. All right, Hegemony. Hegemony is a card that also has never gotten in my deck, I don't think. I've never been in a situation where I need this. I do think the situation can come up, though, so I don't think it's bad. I wouldn't quite say it's bad. It's hard for me to rank these cards. They're all kind of similar to me. But I don't think it's ever gotten in my deck. I've seen it quite a few times, but there's just never been a situation where I'm like, yes, I need this card. It's just one of those cards that is evil and you don't want to add it to your deck because it gets in the way of the actual strong cards you want to be playing every turn. I want to play these cards. I do not want to play mediocre things like this. But it could get in. It's like the numbers on it aren't so totally terrible, right? Like they're okay. So it could get in at some point, maybe. Heirloom Hammer is... I'm going to put it at bottom of Desperate, very specific. I could see it being bad, but I'll just put it at the bottom of this. It's a fun card. Like it's a cute card. I like the text on it. It's fun to read. Like every time I get offered it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, deal 20 damage, choose a colorless card in your hand, add a copy of that card. That's pretty fun. But I've never been in a situation where I feel like I need this ever in my life. So maybe that'll happen at some point and my opinion will change. But as it currently stands, it just feels like a card that never has a place. And if that's the case, it probably is just bad. Probably is just bad. I've just never been in a situation where it does anything. Good with Luminous, the boss relic. Okay, sure, I'll put it here. I'll put it there. Sure, why not? All right, Hidden Cache. I think this card goes in only if needed. I think I'm going to put it above Gather Light. It's not like the best Stargen on the character. It's good Stargen though, and if I need Stargen, this card can smooth out my entire deck. Like if I have Gamma Blast in my deck, if I have like the Decisions, or the Dying Star, or like any of these like payoff cards here, if I have like some Guiding Star in my deck, or I need to play a Comet, then this card just gets in. Like it just gets in my deck. Like but it is only if I need it, so it definitely belongs in this tier. But it is good enough Stargen. Like it will smooth out a deck that just needs that extra Stargen. Because Stargen is very important because the star cards are broken. So yeah, very good. I Am Invincible is a card I've never had in my deck. I do think it's okay though. I don't think I can put it below this. I'll show it in the game. It says gain 10 block at the end of your turn if this card is on top of your draw pile, play it. Like you have to see this card early. Yeah, I don't know where to put this card. I think I'll put it down here. Like it does feel kind of specific, like as be a very specific kind of situation where you would add this. Just because it's a rare card. If it wasn't a rare card, I think it would be higher, just because it is 10 block for 1 energy, which is pretty efficient. Like that's a leap plus, like as an extra block on it compared to leap, and then it has the extra utility of like if you have Cosmic Indifference, if you have Glimmer, you can put this card on top and play it for free, which is pretty solid. But again, it's just not a card that fits into the engine that's winning me the game on every Regent run that I play, which is these cards. And if it doesn't fit in with these cards, then I don't need it. It's almost this tier, though, I think. I could see it going up for sure. It's a card I haven't played with enough. All right, Kingly Kick. I think Kingly Kick and Kingly Punch I'm going to put in only if needed. I don't think either card is... I think Kingly Punch is a bit better than Kingly Kick at this point. I'm going to put it here. And Kingly Kick's like... maybe here. I think in the original version of Slay Spire 2, Kingly Kick was better than Kingly Punch, but they've buffed the numbers on Kingly Punch so much that I think at this point with where we're at, Kingly Punch is better. Like Kingly Punch just more efficiently solves boss scaling than Kingly Kick does at this point. Neither card is particularly good in most decks, so it definitely fits in the only if needed. But if I see like a Kingly Punch on floor 1, I just click the card and it does smooth out my Act 1 by a lot. This card does so much damage. Like upgraded it to 16 damage the first time you draw it for 1 energy, which is very efficient. Like that's a Blade Dance plus. And then it has the added utility of if I can redraw this card over and over again, then it can just solve boss scaling for me. Like it just kills the Act 1 boss, it kills the Act 2 boss. Like it's a very smooth card. Definitely a decent amount better than Kingly Kick at this point, I think. Well, they both do kind of accomplish the same kind of boss scaling, long fight scaling damage card. I'll put Kingly Kick down here. All right, Knockout Blow. This is going to be our next bad card. I do not think there's ever a situation where you want this. This card is only good if you can put Slither on it, because 3 energy for this effect is just like, on Regent, it's just never worth it. Like, it's trying its best to pretend to be Sunder, but it is not Sunder. You play this card and your turn ends, and that's bad. Like, there's just never a situation where you want to, like, play this card and then continue. Like, what are you continuing with? I guess Particle Wall, right? Like, that's it. It's just Particle Wall. Otherwise, your turn is just over after dealing 30 damage, which is just not a good Regent turn. Like, this effect for an entire Regent turn is just not good enough. Yeah, I would say it's just outright bad. Yeah, alignment. If the card combos with the card that's in only if needed tier, the card is bad. Like, that is just how it is. Regent does not build decks like the way that this card would ever be strong. Just does not happen on this character. I've never seen it be good, ever. Maybe one day I'll see it be good, and then I'll change my mind. But as it stands now, I've never seen this card be good. All right, Know Thy Place. Is this card want in most decks, or is it like top of only if needed? I think I'll put it top of only if needed. If I have a Comet, I don't need this card, right? So it's like, if my deck has the need for it, which is pretty often, that's why it's going to go high, then it'll end up in my deck. If you don't know what this card does, I mean, probably most people know what it does. It's not a hard card to memorize, but it's just apply 1 weak, 1 ball, and exhaust. If you upgrade it, it doesn't exhaust anymore. Oftentimes, I will actually upgrade this card and then just like kind of cycle it around to have permanent weakness and permanent vulnerable, which is pretty strong. I've been somewhat impressed with it as I played more Regent. It's not a bad card. But definitely not as good as want in most decks, right? Like these cards are crazy. This is another multiplayer card, I believe. Lunar Blast is more damage. It does more damage, or hits more times the more skills you play during your turn, which is like a deal 4 damage for each skill you've already played this turn. This is fine. I don't know where to put it, though. I think I'm going to put it in Desperate Very Specific. But I could be convinced otherwise. Not multiplayer exclusive. I think that card is multiplayer exclusive. All right, Lunar Blast. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it here. This card is kind of just a worse Radiate, I think. I'm not 100% sure about that. Like, I've had it be in my deck. It's never really been that impressive. I'm just going to put it here. Like, it's a card I don't really understand that well at this point. Every time I've had it in my deck, it just feels awkward. Every time I've transformed into it, it just doesn't feel that strong. Not impressive. Now, if you want a card that is impressive, make it so. I don't think I'm going to put this in premium, but I'm going to put it pretty high up in want in most decks. Like maybe right next to Charge. It's basically just a free card. Like this card, if you ever see it offered against anything that you don't want, you just click it. You just add it to your deck and it makes your deck better. Like, it makes your deck a decent amount better. It's a lot of damage. It's like the most Giga Flurry of Blows you've ever seen in your life. It just pops in your hand all the time, does 6 damage, and then later on it like pops in your hand again. There's some people who are unaware of what this card does. Like every 3 skills you play in your turn, put this into your hand. This means it'll come to your hand from the discard pile, it'll come to your hand from your draw pile, it'll come to your hand from the exhaust pile. It does not care where it is, it will just come to your hand. So that's just a ridiculous amount of free damage. Like the card just has no downside. Like you can draw it on turn 1. That's like about the only downside that it has. But as soon as you don't draw it on turn 1, usually you play 3 skills on turn 1. This card pops in your hand and then it's just free for the rest of the fight. You never have to draw into it and it's just a bunch of damage. I've been incredibly impressed with this card every time I've seen it played and every time I've played it with myself. Just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. It definitely belongs in the want in most decks. There's like almost no deck that I wouldn't want make it so in. It's just not that high impact, so I'll definitely put it I won't put it quite in premium, but it is that level of card where it's just kind of free. Good card, dot card. Like, it's not even interesting how it's good. It's just very good. Just a ton of free damage. All right, Manifest Authority. I don't think this is bad. I don't think it's particularly good, but this card is not bad. Yeah, this card's not bad. Again, the ranking exactly of these cards I'm not like super sure of, but Manifest Authority is a solid block card. It's the uncommon that just adds a colorless card and upgraded colorless card if it's upgraded to your hand and gives you 8 or 7 block. I don't know. I've been pretty impressed with this every time it's in my deck. Like, I'm not unhappy to have this thing in my deck. It's just like not a card I want to click on because it doesn't fit into that core Regent engine that's winning me every run. Like every Regent run I play, I just win. And that core Regent engine is the reason why I'm winning. And this card does not contribute to that. So I have to be in a situation where I need this type of effect, which isn't very common. So yeah, not too happy with it right now, currently. But it is fine. I do think the effect is okay. Like adding the colorless card, I don't think it's bad. I think it's totally fine. Meteor Shower, obvious S tier broken card. Not going to discuss this. I mean, it's the best card I've talked about so far, but I mean, I guess I could take into account the fact that it's an ancient card and put it bottom of here. I don't know. It's still that good. The Tooth in general on all the characters is just good, and Regent is no exception. Just ridiculous effect. Monarch's Gaze. There's another bad card. These are pretty rare, the bad cards, but I think Monarch's Gaze does belong here. There's like never a deck I've ever seen on Regent that wants this card. I've seen it be okay off of Power Potion. That's about it. And yeah, that's enough for me to put it here. If you don't know what this card does, it's a very boring card. I'm okay with it being boring. Please keep it as it is. I need bad cards in my game, but whenever you attack an enemy, it loses 1 strike this turn. I've just never seen this thing be useful outside of Power Potion. And if that's the case, the card is just bad. Do not recommend. Please don't click that. It's not good. Right, Monologue, another bad card. Wow. We're getting to the stinkers here. we are getting to the stinkers. Whenever you play a card this turn, gain 1 strength this turn. Like it upgrades to Retain. Yeah, just terrible. Like, whatever. It's just terrible. It doesn't amplify anything that Regent does. Maybe previous version of Doormaker could make you click this sometimes, but it's just terrible. Neutron Aegis, also just terrible. It's just so bad. This is the worst card in the character, right? Yeah, this is the worst card in the character. Yeah. Neutron Aegis. Gain 8 plating. 5 stars. So you want to know a card that costs 0 energy and 5 stars? And what it does? It's called Comet. It's right here. And that's what it does. 33 damage, 3 weak, 3 vulnerable. You want to know what this does for 1 energy and 5 stars? Yeah, 8 plating. It's so stupidly terrible. Yeah, so unbelievably terrible. Again, it's just another card, just like Monarch's Gaze, where I've only ever seen it play off of a Power Potion, and that's like about the only situation it's going to play on. Orbit, I think I'm going to put only if needed. That does make sense. It is a solid power. I'll put it next to Genesis. If you don't know what it does, it gains every 4 energy you spend, you gain 1 energy. Upgrades to only cost 1. This card basically just gives you an energy per turn. It's Regent's version of an energy per turn power, which is fine. Like, it's fine. If my deck doesn't need it, then it doesn't need it. If it needs it, it needs it, and it gets in my deck. Like, it's that simple. Not that complicated of a card. It is strong though. Like, the effect is good. All right, Pale Blue Dot, the greatest card in the whole game. I think I'll put it next to these powers. These powers are all similar to me, where they just end up in my deck if I need them, and they are powerful. And Pale Blue Dot is also powerful. I thought the changes to Regent would probably kill Pale Blue Dot, but it doesn't kill Pale Blue Dot. The card is just good. This card, basically what it does in Regent decks is it just kind of gives you a +2 card effect every turn for free. Like, you just play this card, and every turn from there on to the end of the fight, you draw 2 extra cards. This is most of the time what happens with Pale Blue Dot. And that's obviously incredible. Like, that is so much card draw. It's better than all the other like card draw powers that exist in the game for sure. Besides Domain. Domain is a monster of a card, but that's not just card draw. It's a card I want in most of my Regent decks, but not all of them, and it will only end up in my deck if I actually need it. If I don't need it, it doesn't just end up in my deck randomly. It is good, though. It is very good. All right, Parry. I'm not going to put in bad. I'm not going to put Parry in bad. People hate on this card. It's fine. It's been buffed twice now. And I think after it's been buffed twice... Oh, whoops. Yeah, I think after it's been buffed twice, the card is just kind of okay. Like 10 block upgrades to, I think, 14. Yeah, 14 block. That's so much block. You put 2 of these in play. Every time you play Sovereign Blade, you just full block. Like, I don't know. It's not that bad. It's not great, obviously. It's in Desperate very specific for a reason. But some people act like this card should be like solving all of your problems. Like, it should be making it to where you can just forge cards and then win the run instantly. Like, I don't know. The card is good. Like, once you have it in play, it's just like you have to add it to your deck and put it in play and then have the blade and play the blade, and then you get 10 block. 10 block is a lot, but that's a lot to have to do on a character that doesn't want to do that much. Definitely better than these cards, though. I don't see how this card is ever not better than these cards. These cards are just terrible. Particle Wall is a card I'll put in once in most decks, I think. It's like the tier below the other like Giga Block cards, like the Bulwark and the Reflect, which is going to go up at the premium tier. Spoilers. Particle Wall is like another card in that kind of zone, but it's not as good as those cards. It requires more stars to do just as much. Particle Wall does have some of the biggest crazy combos in the game. Like if you find a Sealed Throne and you duplicate the Sealed Throne, Particle Wall just goes infinite by itself. The Particle Wall is very strong with Make It So, very strong with Child of the Stars. It fits into the good engine that I'm building every run, so it definitely belongs in one to most decks. Like most decks have the engine that supports this card, so therefore this card is good. Patter, I think that'll go in Desperate very specific. I'll put it next to Manifest Authority. It is good. Like Patter at this point right now. Also, I don't think I showed Particle Wall on here, but that's fine. It's Particle Wall. Patter at this point is just a leap with upside. Like if you've played Defect, like Defect has a card in your common pool called Leap. And Leap says gain 9 block. And guess what? Regent has the card in the common pool that says gain 9 block, also gain 2 vigor. It's just a better Leap. Like it's weird that this card exists, to be honest. It doesn't upgrade, I guess, as well as Leap does, but the vigor is obviously way better than what Leap is doing. I've added this card to my deck a couple times. It feels fine. It's just like a neutrally decent card. It's not a card that fits into the engine that I'm building on the character, but I don't know. It's fine. If you're in Act 1 and you need a block card, like it's a solid block card. It's about the same like kind of thing as I Am Invincible. Like it's a block card with like random upside. It's fine. Similar to Manifest Authority, block card with random upside. Like these cards are just okay. Like if you need a block card, they're there for you if you need that. All right, Photon Cut, I think I'll put in only if needed. I think I'll put it maybe like around here. Yeah, around Kingly Punch, probably. It's probably about the same to me. Like if I see this card on floor 1, if I had the upgrade for it, my biggest problem with Photon Cut is that it's a card that's extremely desperate for the upgrade. Like it wants it so badly that I feel forced to upgrade it, which is really annoying because I'd rather upgrade other things most of the time. And if I just skip this card, then I can upgrade that other thing, and then I have like sort of a better deck out of that situation. Because I lose this card out of my deck and then I gain another upgraded card. But if you can get this card in your deck and it's upgraded, like say you have Silver Crucible, this card just comes upgraded. Incredible. Like you just add it to your deck. It's great. But the desperation for the upgrade is a little bit off-putting for me for sure. So I'm not the most excited for Photon Cut. It's just kind of a decent damage comment, I guess. Not bad. If you don't know what it does the kind of glimmer effect where it draws 1 and puts 1 on top, but upgraded it draws 2. That's a huge upgrade. Like this upgrade's massive because it's actually card advantage at this point. So the utility of it becomes a lot better. And it's also not even a bad damage upgrade. Like it's 3 damage upgrade, which is like pretty normal for a damage common. So the upgrade's just insane. Much better with the upgrade. Next up is Pillars of Creation, which I'll go ahead and show. Whenever you create a card, gain 3 block. I do think this thing's actually fine. Like some people underrate this thing a little bit. Like it can actually block pretty decently if you have like Charge in your deck and Begone and stuff like that. Like the numbers on it aren't bad enough for it to be truly terrible. But I would say it's still definitely a desperate, very specific kind of pick. you have to, it's more of a specific than a desperate pick. Like if your deck does the thing that it does, the card is just strong, but, or does the thing that activates it, it's just a strong card, but you have to be in that situation where that, like where that, the cards are actually being created. If that is happening, the card's good, but a lot of the time that's just not happening. So yeah. All right. Prophesize. Sorry, Papa. I apologize, Papa. I have had one run when alignment wasn't nerfed where this card was okay. I think pre-alignment nerf, this thing was actually here. Post-alignment nerf, this thing got even worse. And now it's basically just a Void Form card. And if I have Void Form in play, I'm not really worried about much with Void Form in play. That card's broken, so. Yeah. Yeah, if your energy solved on Regent, you often don't need this. If it is solved, I guess you can take it. I guess that means it is kind of very specific. I'll put it bottom of this, though. It is truly a bad card. 2 energy is just too much to spend on that level of card draw. Like, it's a ton of card draw, but this just often means I draw 6 cards and then my turn ends. Which is bad. I think another card that'll go into this tier of Desperate Very Specific is Quasar. Quasar with an upgrade is kind of strong, but without the upgrade, then it once upgraded so badly, and I'm not going to spend an upgrade on this thing ever. So you have to be in a kind of a specific situation where you just need some random output, and that situation can happen. It can save you if you're in a bad spot sometimes, but definitely not a card I want in my like typical Regent deck. Right? Choose one of 3 random colorless cards. If it's upgraded, it gives you upgraded colorless cards, which are very strong in this game. So definitely don't sleep on this card, but also don't pick it. Don't entirely sleep on it. Don't pick it, though. Like in general, strong Regent runs, I would not take that card. I think Radiate I'm actually going to put up here. I think Radiate I've been pretty impressed by overall. I'm going to put it like right by Black Hole. It's a card that actually has a lot of random ways to... Like, Radiate is one of the better ways to solve certain problems if you end up in a situation where you have to solve those problems. Like, say the new Doormaker is exhausting all of your deck and your damage isn't fast enough. You can like create some kind of Radiate combo to like burst the Doormaker down with like a flex pot. Like say some Act 3 Elite is doing too much damage to you too quickly. Then you can sort of burst it down with this Radiate. And then Radiate in early game also just kind of feels solid. So like there's not really a lot of spots where Radiate feels bad. But it's not a card you're going to add to your deck if you already have the engine that wins the game, which are these cards. So it definitely doesn't belong higher than this, but I've been pretty impressed with that. I think I'll put it there. All right, Refined Blade, definitely Desperate Very Specific. Again, cards in this tier aren't bad. I would say Refined Blade's kind of like a Furnace, where like you're going to add it to your deck specifically to deal with bosses. And it's so Radiate on the thing, but I think most people know what it does. It's just damage for each star gain this turn. And Refined Blade is forged 9 next turn gain energy. This card got buffed, and this card's numbers now kind of mean that it does what it's actually advertising to do. It creates a sword that's big enough to solve your problems if you need a sword that's big enough to solve your problems. So similar to Furnace, where it'll get in your deck if you need that kind of effect. I think it's probably better than Furnace. Again, the ranking for these cards is kind of hard to do, but definitely belongs in Desperate Very Specific. But don't sleep on this. If you have a problem that needs solved, and the sword solves that problem, this card is kind of nice for solving that problem for you. Not a core card or anything, not a strong card like these, but it is good. Enough. Good enough. Right, Reflect. I think this is probably the second strongest card on the character, like next to Comet. I would still say I think Comet's stronger, but Reflect I think I would give to the number 2 spot. Absolutely insane numbers on this thing. Maybe the most overstated besides Comet. Like these cards, Comet and Reflect, are so ridiculously overstated. Like 17 block and all, like oftentimes, very oftentimes, this is the best damage and the best block card in my deck. It's both at the same time, which is just insane. Like how can a card be the best block and the best damage you have, like in a lot of runs on Regent? Like if there is a card that is stronger than Comet, this is the card for sure. I could definitely see it being stronger than Comet. It is the premium absolute. I want this card in my deck every run that I can possibly get it. The first copy always gets in over basically everything else, or literally everything else. I don't think there's a single card I would ever take over Reflect besides maybe Comet, or Big Bang or something. I don't know. It's absolutely ridiculous, stupidly broken, insane. Just please click this card. It will win you the run. Like this card wins you the run. It just wins run, like by itself. It just does that. All All right, Resonance, I think I'm going to put next to Monarch's Gaze. Another pretty bad card. If you don't know what it does, it gives you gain 2 strength. All enemies lose 1 strength. I think you could change this where the upgrade gives 2 and then enemies lose 2, and then it would be like kind of okay. Like it would actually have some utility, but the lose 1 it just isn't a big enough number, and then the gain 2 isn't a big enough number, so it's just kind of bad. Yeah, same cost as Reflect, by the way. Worth noting that these cards cost the same amount. And this is on the opposite side of the spectrum. It's just not worth the stars when you can spend those stars on cards like Reflect instead. The effect just isn't powerful enough. Very weak card, obviously. All right, Royal Gamble is a card that I think a lot of people put like up here. I think for me though, this card is like kind of just good Stargen, but not like the premium good Stargen like Glow and, you know, Venerate. It's a card that if you can play it, it's very strong, and it kind of smooths out all of your Stargen from here to the end of the fight. But you have to be able to play the card, and you can't just add it like without thinking. Like it contributes to the engine, and I want it in a lot of decks, but I don't want it in most decks, like every deck, you know. Like it's a card that will get in my deck if I need that for Stargen. But if I already have my Stargen solved with like Glow or with like Venerate, or hitting cash is already in my deck or something, like I kind of only want one of these, or I want like Genesis, something like that. Like these cards are all kind of lumped together for me, like the Royal Gamble, the hitting cash, the Genesis. They're good because star cards are broken, but like I don't want these types of like empty effects in my deck really that often. They are good though. They are good cards. Like all the cards in this tier are good. Honestly, King Lake Cake does not belong here. Let's put King Lake Cake here. King Lake Cake kind of sucks. The more I look at this. Yeah, let's put this here too. Yeah, it feels better. All right, royalties. Did I, by the way, what was the last card I did? I did Royal Gamble. Yeah, I think most people know what this card does. Royalties, I think, goes like lumps in with like these strong powers. It's a hard card to rate, royalties. I felt like it's strong every time I've had it in my deck though. Like it has felt very, very powerful every time I've had it in my deck. So I'm gonna rate it pretty high. It's a pretty oddball card at the end of combat game, 30 to 35 gold if it's upgraded. Like it's kind of weird, but it's cool. It's strong. I don't know. It's a lot of gold. Like 30 is a ton. Every fight 30 is just like way more than you might think it is. That is like quadrupling the amount of gold you get from a fight or something like that. It's crazy. You get a lot more gold as soon as you have the royalties in your deck. All right, Seeking Edge. I don't think this card is bad, but it's definitely desperate, very specific. I'll put it next to like, I'll just put it here. Why not? It forges on top of giving you the AoE effect, because what this card does is Forge 7, Sovereign Blade now deals damage to all enemies, which is fine. It's stronger in theory than it actually is in practice, though. Like when you actually play with the card, you'll realize like Regent doesn't really need this effect to solve the fights that this thing is trying to solve. The numbers just aren't big enough. Like if it forged like 10 or 15, then the card would be pretty strong. But like the mediocre forge on top of like an effect that you don't actually really need, just makes this card kind of unpickable most of the time. You'll only pick it if you actually really need that effect, which is pretty uncommon. Similar thing for 7 stars. Like this type of AoE effect just isn't something Regent's actually looking for most of the time. 7 stars is mostly a card that's very strong off of like Attack Potion or Discovery or something, because then you play it for free and it costs 7 stars and an energy to play, which is just, and 2 energy to play. Like, geez. Like, wow, like what a ridiculous amount to spend on a card. Like it's so expensive, and the effect is strong, yeah, but like I can just do better things with this amount. This amount of resources I can just contribute to playing cards that are better than this. I can get way more out of my stars than playing 7 stars. Like I can just play an Astral Pulse. Astral Pulse just makes this so irrelevant. Like look at Astral Pulse and compare it to this. It's just a joke. It's just sad, really. It's just sad. All right, Shining Strike. I think these are the desperate, like these two, Shining Strike and Solar Strike, like the 2 strike cards that give you stars. I think both of these I would lump in as the desperate star generation. Like if you absolutely need star gen and you're being offered these things, you take them. But most of the time you want to solve your star gen with the other star gen cards rather than these cards. So I definitely avoid picking these if you like don't need them yet. But But if you have this, if you have like huge star payoff like Reflect and stuff in your deck, and you need the star gen, then these cards can't get involved. This card, if it comes upgraded and you have it on the like say you have the Silver Crucible and you see this card upgraded, you can just kind of click it. But it's a card that really wants the upgrade to actually be efficient star generation, so be careful about clicking it for sure. Spectrum Shift, I think I'm also going to put in Desperate Very Specific. It's not a weak power, like it is strong, but I haven't really played with this card enough, really, but it doesn't fit into the strong like Regent engine that actually wins you the run. It just kind of does a strong thing, and if that's something you need for like bosses or whatever, then I guess it can get in your deck. Yeah, I can zoom in, but the cards aren't like super high quality on here, so you're not going to make them look better. I'm showing them in the game so that you can see what the cards I'm showing are. Like the quality of the card art on here just doesn't look great. Yeah, definitely best avoided if your deck is already good. If you need it, then I guess you can take it. I'll put it like next to Bundle of Joy. I don't know. All these cards are just whatever. Again, the ranking of this isn't like super specific. The ranking of these cards up here is definitely more specific than these cards here. Spoils of Battle. Honestly, I think as it stands, this card is just kind of overrated. Like, post buff, I think this card is kind of overrated. I'm not actually a huge fan of it. Definitely put it in Desperate Very Specific. Like, it's just kind of a specific kind of situation where the card draw is good, because the forge number on this thing now is just so small that you're only ever taking this thing if one energy draw 2 is actually good, and that's not very common really on Regent, where one energy draw 2 is very strong. So I'm not too into it. I don't like how the card is designed. I don't like how they just made the forge number small and then slapped draw 2 on it and said, oh, that'll fix the card. Like, I think that's really boring. I think they could do a better job of fixing the problem, quote unquote, that this card had. I don't even think it really had a problem. I think it could have just stayed what it was. It was fine. Like, the number used to be big, and that was kind of cool. Now it's just like a boring draw card that you barely ever want because you don't actually have the energy to use this draw because the forge doesn't do anything. I'm not too happy with the design choice that they made with this thing. Pretty disappointed with it overall, and I still don't even think it's a good card. Like, it's not a card that really gets in my deck ever. Another card that doesn't really get in my deck ever is Stardust. If I need a multi-hit, I guess I'll take it. I don't know. It's bad. Summon Forth, also just like a bad forge card. If I need to pull the blade, I'll just reshuffle into the blade. Yeah, not very good. I could show these two cards real quick, I suppose. They're not good cards, though. Like Stardust. 5 damage to a random enemy X times. X is the amount of stars you have. Like, just irrelevant. This thing pulling a sword back from everywhere is kind of okay, but in the Regent decks I'm building, this just isn't a problem I need to solve, so not very good. Supermassive. I've never taken this card, so I'm going to say it's terrible. It's a card that gets more damage the more cards you generate. I guess that could be useful sometimes if you have like Bundle of Joys and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's Desperate Very Specific. I guess. I've never taken it though, so these cards are just bad, man. They're just bad cards. Sword Sage also just kind of bad. Even post buff, I'm not impressed with this thing. Like, it can do a lot of damage, sure, I guess, but it kind of needs to be upgraded for you to actually be able to play it. Otherwise, it's just a better Conqueror is what this card is. Like, it's a permanent Conqueror, which is like kind of cool, I guess. But just not an effect that Regent needs all that often. Definitely much better than it was before. Before, I think I would put it in the bottom tier, but now I will put it in this tier. I think it's still like fine. I don't know. Terraforming is terrible. Sealed Throne is ridiculously broken. Let's just get the cards on here. Tyranny is good. We'll discuss them in more detail. But when I get to the end of the list, often I just like to throw all the rest of the cards on there. The Smith is crazy. Void Form is broken. Rotten War is like kind of a desperate card. Yeah, that's all of it. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's the list. Rank Venerate? Sure. You basically agree with this, Marl? I mean, I figured you would. I think we think pretty similarly about the character at this point. I'll take Venerate off the tier list. The Smith, let's like rank them a bit more accurately. I think the Smith I'll put here. The Smith is incredibly strong. Like this card just forges 30. Like it's so much damage. It is one of the most premium damage cards on the character. I genuinely mean this. I'm not exaggerating at all. Like this card is mind blowing. Like every time I have it, I'm just super impressed. You have to have the star economy to actually play it, but I'm always fixing my star economy with like some of these cards or whatever. Only big standout for you is Royal Gamble. Yeah, Royal Gamble is good. It's just you have to be able to actually play the card, and oftentimes I feel like I can smooth out my stars without it. Like I can just smooth out what my stars do without having the card in my deck. And it kind of wants the upgrade if my deck's a little inconsistent, which is like a little weird, but the card is good. It's high up in the tier list. Like any card in this part of the tier list is good. Like it's not a bad card. Terraforming, I'm not even going to talk about. That card's not worth talking about. That card is just terrible. But yeah, reiterating that the cards in Desperate are very specific. Like none of these cards, I don't think any of these cards are actually bad. I just think they're kind of whatever. And they require a very specific kind of situation to be good. That's like the point of the tier name. Like even Bundle of Joy, I don't think is like actually terrible. Yeah, Terraforming, like I guess the card exists to enhance Radiate. Is it really as bad as these cards? Maybe it's not as bad as these cards. These cards are actually just abysmal. These cards really just like have no place. Like they have no place to do anything. These cards like all can play in some kind of situation that I can imagine in my head. Most of the time it doesn't matter. Like the situation that I'm pretending like exists when I rank these cards here is just like I'm actually just using these cards to win, right? I'm not using these cards to win, really, but they can show up, I guess. These cards I just never use to win. Like these cards are irrelevant. Like these cards are actually just terrible. Well, these cards can actually play towards a win condition sometimes. Like I wouldn't say any card in this tier is bad. Genuinely, I think these are all fine. These cards are just kind of more useful than these. Like they're not great, but they're more useful than these. Maybe Bombardment's like here. I don't know. And these cards are like useful in every run, and these cards are the cards that are breaking the character. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. Like I said at the beginning of the tier list, I feel very strong about my Regent right now. Like when I play Regent, I just feel like I know what I'm doing. On other characters, I have like more uncertainty, but when I play Regent, I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Rather inaccurate to that verbal explanation. No, it's actually accurate. Like these cards are good. It's just that the premium cards are so like they're so meta warping for this character that these cards never get in your deck. Shining Strike, I don't know. I'm not. I don't think I'm as desperate for Star Gen as you are, Merle. I'm just not actually that desperate for Star Gen. Like, I just feel like my Star Gen solves itself like very conveniently most runs. Like I don't need to add some garbage like that. I just like don't need to do that. I can play all my star cards like very comfortably without adding some garbage shining strike in most runs. Some runs I will add it, but I have to be in a situation where it's like very pressing. Genesis is kind of similar, but at least Genesis is a power and it just like smooths out everything. Yeah, I'm a little bit wary of clicking Star Gen before getting Star Payoff. Like if I don't have my Astral Pulse yet, then I don't really like want to get desperate for Star Gen unless it's Glow. Or like Convergence. Convergence is crazy. That's good Star Gen right there. Holy shit. Yeah, Make It So is I think most people who don't think Make It So is broken just don't understand what the card does. Like Make It So pulls from anywhere, exhaust pile, draw pile, discard pile, no matter where it is, it jumps to your hand. That is just so much free damage. This card is never worse than Skip. Always gets in your deck, and it doesn't just make your deck a little bit better. It's a decent power boost to your deck. That's a lot of damage, and it has no downside. Like, what more can you ask for from a card? What more can you ask for, really? It's just not like game defining. Like these cards are game defining. These cards win me every run that I play on this character. Like these cards are insane. I'll Make It So is just like good. In every deck. I want it in pretty much every deck that I play. If I see it and I can add it, but like if I see it over Comet or Void Form, then I will take these cards over it because I need these cards to win the run. While this card's just like enhancing my deck. Make It So is crazy though. Like obviously it's very high on the tier list. Look how high it is. It's a crazy card. Would you clone anything on this character besides Big Bang? Is there another clone in this character? You could technically clone decisions. I don't think that would ever make sense, but you like could if you had Star Gen. Yeah, Crescent Spear does make sense, yeah. But like, why is this in your deck in Act 1? Do you really not value deck manip like Cosmic Indifference, Discard to Top, or Photon Cut, or Glimmer? I don't value them that much. Obviously, I value Cosmic Indifference the least because I think the effect is the worst out of all three of the options. No, Make It So would not come back from old Doormaker because Doormaker put your card in the Shadow Realm and nothing comes back from the Shadow Realm. Yeah, I feel pretty comfy with this, honestly. I'm pretty confident in my Regent opinions right now. I like feel very good about this character. Celestial Might being this high is maybe weird. Yeah, that's probably weird. That's like a relic from the old version, like when I was like building the list out. This looks okay. There are any cards I might see myself loving more eventually? I could definitely see my opinion going up on like Sword Sage if I try it out more. I haven't played with it that much since the patch. Arsenal, I literally have never clicked on. Since the patch. Outside of that, yeah, I feel pretty comfy about the rest of the options or the rest of the tier list. I think looking at it, it just all looks kind of solid. I can see Dying Star being a little bit lower than this, maybe. I don't know. It's all fine. All of these cards are good. Manifest Authority. Manifest Authority is a card that's, when it's been in my deck, it's been pretty solid. Like, I've not been disappointed when Manifest Authority ends up in my deck somehow. But 7 is just not very much block. Sadly. And Collision Course, meh. Collision Course just has to show up in a very specific moment. Like, it has to be like floor 1, 2, 3 against nothing better, which is not very common. And it doesn't help with the engine that I actually want to build. Like the engine, like Merle's kind of saying it in chat right now, like the engine that I want to build in every Regent run is just star gen, star use, star gen, star use, and then like Bulwark. That's what I want to do in every single run. And Collision Course does not contribute to that at all. It's an extra strike in that kind of situation, which is really bad. All the cards like here and above kind of contribute to that, besides maybe Celestial Might and like Glitter Stream, but these are like the best out of the common like generics that exist on the character. Maybe Kingly Punch, but that's like actually good damage. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. I think this is the final version of the tier list. Unless there's any objections in chat. I'll read chat messages now. How you feeling, chat? Do you like this tier list? I feel pretty good about it at this point. I'm kind of surprised Pale Blue Dot ended up being as good as this. It's probably worse than Tyranny, but I thought the patch would make Pale Blue Dot a little bit worse, but it still felt very strong. I'm gonna get a bit more specific by getting loose ordering. Because these, I think I have the ordering more precise than these for sure. All right. That's going to be it for this video, YouTube. I think that's a good stopping point. Hopefully the tier list is useful. If there's any questions, just ask them in the comments and I'll answer. GG's chat. GG's. We did it. Who was posting to Reddit? If someone in chat wants to post this to Reddit, I can like send you the link to the tier list or the image or something. I don't post on Reddit, so that had to be somebody else doing it. But yeah, GG's. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Goodbye.